Well, our company, Neodoo, is not a big company. And well, we always have worked with, we have always do software integration, and we are very focused in middleware. We work a lot, we work only with open source, with Java technology, specifically with projects from Apache Foundation and GBoss community, but there are also other projects that we consider interesting for developing. And we do this architecture with Linux distribution. When we started in our company, we only make Java development. And I remember that in the beginning, there were clients that asked to us to make the Java architecture with Windows system operation. In the first development in a bank here in Zaragoza, with Windows, the solution in Java, there was an application in Java with struts, with Oracle. There was a little CRM, Customer Relation Management, that serves 500 people, and with Windows, there never functions. With one server with, in that moment, was CentOS, all was, the function was perfect. Well, in that moment, we saw that when our team was a Java developer, and our life, our existence, of Java, va ligado, is linked to Linux architecture. And we start working with Java and Linux architecture. At the beginning, I remember that we work a lot with CentOS, also with Fedora for enterprise. But there were clients that tell us that they need support. And in that moment, we started working with Red Hat. With Red Hat, I have had always a problem in our company, but not with them directly. There was a problem by our philosophy. We are software integrators, and our company we have not very beneficious profits from selling subscription. We have benefits making integration, for example, with Lotus Notes, with other applications, but never selling subscription. We can see that some companies that, for example, sell Red Hat subscription, there was a solution very conditionated or linked to big clients. You sell, for example, 15, 100 subscription, and you have a business interesting, okay? But for our kind of company, this is not our market, okay? And this is one of the reasons that with the market we have our architecture, our Java architecture, Linux architecture are not Red Hat distribution. We are working now more with Ubuntu, and I'm going to tell you why we have arrived to this switch. Reach this conclusion. Well, when you go to a company, to a client. The client has a router, internet, and in your office, detrás, behind the router, you have things, service, applications, desktop, PCs, some servers. But you can classify them in the server size, okay, and the client size. When you work habitually with clients, small companies, medium companies, you see that the 15% of tasks that this client need is always the same, okay? We work with Linux, and for us, it's the basic tool. But for the client, it has the sensation that it's a little dangerous. But well, dangerous, for example, can be pagar, to pay one license every year the same. The dangerous can be, for example, that you cannot make some integration because you are not using open source. The dangerous can be that you have a blue screen, for example. I have noted some of the tasks that you do in an enterprise, okay? The server side of the client side. For example, you can mount a server because you want to install an application. For example, an OpenRP or Java enterprise application with Tomcat, with GBoss, with Geronimo. You can make an ECM, enterprise content management, for example, okay? You can make virtualization. You can mount your cloud architecture that can be integrated into your office or mixed it with the exterior. For example, an architecture IaaS, el hierro, que no sé cómo se dice, the iron, the path, and SaaS that is the application, the final application for the client. But when you are also when in a little or medium company, they have also desktop, printers, scanners, and you have also to help to this client to maintain all of these kinds. For example, I'm sure that all the persons that are here are Linux experts or have good knowledge of Linux. Sorry, I'm going to ask this a little later. Since now, or since hace unos años, some years ago, the Linux distribution were more focused on server size. There was an evident reason. That is because there was more market in this area. There was more business, and it was more interesting because you have more return. And some companies consider the side of the client was considered a residual market, a market with no importance because there was no money to obtain. But well, now you can make the question that if there business in the client side, now it's the moment. It's the moment that the clients are seeing that you can use Linux not only in the server side, but also in the client side, okay? And now is the moment to understand, to view clients and providers that there is a good opportunity to make a complete infrastructure with Linux. For us, for example, when we work with CentOS, Red Hat, there are more linked with server size. But when we go to small and medium enterprise, we have the two combination. And we need a distribution that with their variants take the client and the server size. And for us, for example, Ubuntu is a good distribution for going to client. You can see that in Ubuntu, for example, you have the Ubuntu server distribution for the server side. You have also the Ubuntu client distribution. You have also the Ubuntu cloud distribution for making, for example, an IaaS architecture. But you can see that you have also Ubuntu variants. For example, if a university need Ubuntu distribution for education, we can use Ubuntu. For example, if the enterprise has desktop PCs that has not very potential, small PCs, you can use the distribution Ubuntu. Ubuntu. For example, if you want to put a PC in your house for TV, the theater computer, theater cinema with Mi TV and all. Okay, media computer. You can use, for example, Ubuntu. There is no market now, but perhaps in the future, in 2-3 years, there can be a lot of market. You can see that for us, desktop and server are necessarily something that we have to offer to client. And also, we like the canonical supports. Canonical is the company that make the Ubuntu distribution. And we like the reasonable prices. For example, I remember when I have to make an installation with GBoss application server, I liked it a lot, GBoss community, before the Red Hat acquisition. Next, when the acquisition arrived, when Red Hat monetized the system, there was some problems with our clients. For example, if you buy a Red Hat distribution, now I don't remember the prices, but perhaps you have 1,000 euros, 1,000 euros by server or by processor, I don't remember. In this distribution, perhaps you have 1,000, 2,000 applicaciones, 1,000 or 2,000 of application, and you pay, for example, 1,000 euros. And next, if you want to buy another, take a subscription of GBoss, you can pay perhaps 6,000 euros, 6,000. This price for big corporation, for administraciones públicas, for public administration can be perhaps interesting. But for a small and medium enterprise, I think this is not buenos rangos de precios. Good ranges of prices. And this is for us the reason, because we need the Ubuntu for make money in our market of clients. I am not doing una criticism about the distribution. It's the consequence of the kind of clients we have. Only that, okay? Well, when we go to an enterprise, We have to configure the scanner, the printer, the PCs, the servers. And yes, we can do all a mano, by hand, okay? And well, very easy, we can do it. But sometimes we have always to do the same task, the same task, the same task. Perhaps share a directory with Samba. My task puede durar, can take 1 hour, 2 hours. Perhaps another configuration, 2-3 hours. We always have a thing that if we could have a tool for going más rápido, more faster, better for everybody, for the client, because the facturation is going to reduce, because I'm going to have less stress, well, and I can do another things, okay. But for the client, it's also interesting, because there is clients that always ask to us that they don't want Linux because they cannot control his infrastructure. They say to you, I prefer Windows because I saw the button, I put this, I can this, that, and I don't ask to the provider, and it's less expensive. In partly, that was true. But now, with this kind of tools, this problem is solucionado, solved, okay? But also for us, and we can do it by hand. De hecho, como se dice de hecho, in fact, when something doesn't work, I do it on hand. And well, our election, we are working with Ubuntu in the server side, in the client side, and why not use a tool that help us and our client to maintain the infrastructure. And well, this is the reason, because we have hemos llegado, reached this technological conclusion. It was a consequence of our kind of clients and our philosophy of working. And well, with this, I finish my presentation. It's a personal presentation, and you can see in this year our evolution. Okay, and I recommend to you, if you are a company that you don't have to have miedo, fear to this tool, because if you think that if you have fear, you can always return to your basic texto de consola, console text. Yes, text console. And for the client, you have a tool, a web tool for configuring all your enterprise has. Con esto ya. Finish. Questions or something? No? Okay. Thank you.